Okay, so it is Street Talk time, and like I said earlier in the podcast, I'm not really feeling the vibes of Coronation Street this week. It wasn't right up my street. I don't know whether it was the fact that I'm absolutely knackered. Like literally yesterday, we spent, how long was it? 5.5 hours driving up here, 5 maybe, and then we were sitting in our hot hotel room. We were watching it on a tiny iPad screen rather than our normal TV, but it was just police and hospital, wasn't it? Police and hospital stuff again this week, and lots of silly special effects on Thursday's episode that did not go down well with me.
Well, I am open-minded, but I'm also very busy, so let's get on with what the names...
Sorry, am I not allowed to... We've on a schedule tonight, believe it or not. Oh, was that a Lisa... Gemma's just pointed out that is a Lisa Swain quote. I'm open-minded and very busy.
I was trying to do a segue, but it hasn't worked because you are narrating the segue.
I'm not memorising all of Lisa's lines of the week. We're going to start off with a gingerbread man and all the mysterious business that's been going on with there. Then we've got the family affair story with the Websters. Secret Service comes next at number 3, and then we will talk about what Lisa's been going up to. She wasn't really up for any of this therapy malarkey, was she? So I've very badly called this storyline title The Path of Least Resistance, because she was quite resistant to it. I actually quite like that. I didn't really think that was good.
Fine.
That was fine. That was so. What can you just give me any thoughts generally about this week's Corrie? Whenever I have a bit of a rant at the beginning, often you just stay quiet because it's like, I'm going to let Michael take the heat for this one. Did you like it? Did you not like it?
People like it when we complain. I don't think, and I think it's quite popular. I just think you're being one of the cool people. I'm not going to go with the flow here. But I loved it.
No, you... Right, so on...
You always do this. You always say...
You didn't love it.
You didn't like it. I'm sorry. Well, Michael, guess what? It's not the 1950s. I'm allowed a different opinion, even though I'm a married woman.
There was just too much this week. I was almost falling asleep in today's episode, but we had a busy day. But Thursdays, I was like, what is going on here? So the gingerbread man.
Am I allowed to say?
Yeah, by all means.
That I thought that Gary's bonk was very comical.
When he was hit on the back of the head. I don't know what... Is there a good way of doing that?
No, I know. I was just
because the last time somebody was bonked on the back of the head, which was Spider, wasn't it? In the Ginnell.
It was quite funny. And
everybody was making gifs out of that and saying how ridiculous it looked. And this was just as farcical.
Do you think that they've had... can you imagine if you got Mikey North and
Martin Hancock
in a room and they were doing like an actors, like what they called, masterclass about, and they were like, yes, we both... Because obviously they both sound exactly like I'm just about to do them. Yes, we both studied many violent videos, and we ended up with PTSD because we watched combat videos from all different countries and throughout time, and together we came up with the most realistic way of depicting being bonked on the head, and it genuinely does look quite funny, to be honest with you.
I think that they should compete and see who can do it best. They could have a bonk off, couldn't they?
They could do, yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible. I think if I'm Coronation Street director now, I say, look guys, it's not going to work. Let's just do it from the back. Pat Phelan being bonked on the back of the head.
Do you want to be bonked from the back?
Stop it. Stop
okay.
that. Stop
All
that.
Right, calm down.
When Gary hit Pat with that plank back a very long time ago, that looked good because you didn't see Pat falling forward in front of the camera. I think this is the trick. But anyway,
so you want bonks off camera? Because I agree with that.
Yes, off camera bonking.
Yeah, I think it's better to be left to the imagination.
I just think that they should stop bonking each other, to be honest.
I've said there's far too much of it on television these days.
I am a bit disappointed with what they've done to Lou this week because I really liked her before and I don't really like her this week.
Are you kidding me? I love her even more.
Do you?
Yeah, what a queen.
They're making... she was from a bad lot, wasn't she? She was from the rough end of town. She was. We
know exactly where she's from because we went there today.
But, didn't we? But they... She was always a bit of a good egg, and she was a bit of a mischief maker, wasn't she? When she came in, and she didn't really care what other people thought. She was no saint. She was definitely
when the chips are down,
chav material.
She's out for herself.
Yeah.
Can you blame her? Who else is in her corner?
There's really nobody at the moment.
Exactly.
Tim Metcalf is, and he's barely been in it. Has he been in it at all this week?
I don't think Sally would let him.
It feels like this week now they've had her, put somebody in a coma.
She did it by accident.
Sorry, I don't think that's going to work in Court,
On Corrie, everybody's got one. I was going to ask you how many people is Gary responsible for killing in the quiz that we did earlier.
Well, it's only 2, isn't it?
I know, but I think he was kind of partly responsible for Robert Preston, because it was only because of that guy who was his employee going a bit berserk at Christmas
time.
Anyone got shot at all.
Yeah, well, anyway, I just wish that they hadn't done this to Lou. I was really excited. You saw, listeners, you heard that after that party episode, was that last week, the week before, I've lost track, I was like, oh, what's the mystery? What have Nina and Summer got up to? What have they seen? And every episode almost since that big reveal, it's just been a bit like, a bit less excited by it now, unfortunately.
Speaking of who Gary killed off, did you hear that now ITV and Disney are doing a thing together?
Are they on a partnership, are they?
Yeah, apparently they're doing a new version of Wicked where Gary plays Dorothy and Rana is the Wicked Witch who gets the house dropped on her.
Is that so? Is that so? We're going to be seeing some Disney Corrie crossovers.
Why not?
Cancel the Emmerdale one next year. Let's get Mickey Mouse on the cobbles.
I don't even know if it's a Disney thing, but
I saw something about. I don't know what it is. I've not got it in the news. Only it's not that interesting.
Right.
Do you want to do the gingerbread man, or do you want me to?
I'll do that because you got something you got to do on your phone, I think.
Have I?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know what she's talking about, but I'm going to go and grab my phone and see.
We can do it on mine if you like.
Oh,
okay, right. So, Gingerbread Man, Thursday, Maria's at the station later telling Lisa about missing Gary. And Lisa, we'll find out later, is having a bit of a bad day. So she's not really interested in learning about the problems of the common folk. She's like, look, he's probably fine. He's probably gone to his mum's. And Maria's like, no, you're not taking me seriously, because Gary didn't even message Liam on his birthday and he would never miss it. And so she strops off. And meanwhile, in the office, Kit is talking to Lisa about this mysterious, unidentified coma patient who is at the hospital. And she says, I'll go and sort that out later. And Kit's like, no, I think you should probably go to therapy because Costello says you had to go. So I will do it. And he's being an absolute dick, isn't he? To her and like
totally.
going, I'll do this and you do that, because he's kind of reveling in the fact that she has to go. And I think a lot of people are. It's really hard to like pass the relationship between Lisa and Kit, but I don't think they're quite as. I don't think they hate each other as much as everybody thinks they do, because
I think that some fans are making the animosity a little bit more than it actually is.
But it's more like siblings, isn't it? It's more like just two people who.
Yeah. I think they'd still have each other's backs.
Yeah, exactly.
In the thick of it.
I keep saying when the chips are down, but maybe I'm just hungry. Right, so
it is a gambling reference, is it? Not a food reference when the chips are down.
What do you mean? I thought when you go to a casino you get given chips. And whoever eats the most wins? Is that not it? Okay, right. So he says, I'll go along and talk to find out who this mystery man is. And we're all obviously thinking it's clearly going to be Gary, because we keep cutting to Gary in the hospital. So there's a hidden woman, and they're saying, "Oh, Chesney's fine. He's getting stronger by the day." So everybody knows this is Lou, and everybody knows that Gary is under the pseudonym of Chesney.
It's funny though, isn't it? Because we were supposed to think that, but everything we'd heard so far was that it's not a mystery man. This man has been named as Chesney. So really, they were leading us down the path saying, well, of course, you may think it's this person, but of course it's not, because
we knew it wasn't Chesney, because...
No, I know. I'm saying we should have not guessed it was Gary, because Kit said it's an unidentified man. But Gary is not an unidentified man because he's been identified as Chesney, do you see?
I think there was a bit of a plot hole there. I'm not sure. So... Also, okay, I'm just going to address this here, because what hospital brings a man in who's clearly been beaten with a woman and just takes her word for it what his name is, and doesn't notify any of the family or like check up on him or anything, or take any IDs whatsoever?
It's shoddy. It's because they haven't got enough workers in the hospital, isn't it? It's that the Weatherfield general staffing crisis strikes again. I just
like to think that there's some kind of like hospital. Because I'm from a different industry than the medical world. I can only think of the word fact checker. I don't know what they call them in a hospital, but there's somebody who's in charge of like double checking everything. And they went, okay, right, I just checked to see if this guy in the hospital bed is Chesney, and they just pull it up, pull up some information on the NHS hospital, because we all have our patient numbers and everything. They just go, okay, just going to double check Chesney, Gingerhead. Well, it must be the same person.
But unfortunately, there's quite a few redheads in Weatherfield.
I just love the idea that because he's got ginger hair, Lou said his name was Chesney, and that's literally the only identifying feature that anybody cares about.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense. He doesn't look like him. He isn't.
To be honest, if she'd said it's Ed Sheeran, I don't think she'd have got away with it quite as well.
She wouldn't have, no, I don't think so. Anyway, Maria logs into Gary's bank account, luckily, just in time before it resets the password. And
oh, yeah. I'll tell you what.
Well, what you
Thursday's episode was just full of cliches. Full of cliches.
I know, but what do you want them to do?
Just don't even show it. Just, don't have somebody guessing a password. Just have them them know it.
I don't think you're allowed to say that you have other people's bank passwords, but I don't think it would be unusual for her to know what it is. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
So, Nina is there, overhearing this and hearing that Gary's gone missing, and she's texting Summer like, oh my god, we need to meet up. So Nina and Summer meet up, and Summer's saying it's just a coincidence, it was not Gary, it's just a hallucination. And this little dynamic, I don't know if they're going to develop this between Summer and Nina, but if I was Summer, I'd be so annoyed at Nina because Nina's just dropped her in it all week.
I know, she has. She's been a big coward.
She's not been a coward. She's been quite brave to speak up against her friend, but she hasn't got her back, has she?
No.
If I murder somebody with my friend, I'm gonna keep that a secret.
The thing,
it's also quite ironic that I Know What You Did Last Summer is the movie about people keeping a secret about somebody that they think that they killed, and they turns out that they probably didn't. But with it's actually Summer that's the one that's taking the rap for it.
I don't know how many people are really lamenting the breakdown of this epic friendship between Nina and Summer, though. That's the problem.
Well, they only just made friends.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
So at the end of Friday's episode where they're saying, oh, I'm not your friend anymore, I was like, okay, well, just go back to how it was a couple of weeks ago before this story cropped up. I don't want to be too nitpicky, but that didn't work on me.
I'm going to unfollow you on Twitter. So, we get a weird police cam. Is this in the hospital?
No.
Yes, it's spying on Kit and Maria. Oh,
it's at the police station. There's a POV, isn't there?
Why?
It's Lou.
At the police station?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably.
Maria and Kit are talking, and we get this POV cam of somebody spying on them, talking about Gary.
Okay.
And the fact that there is a patient
at
the hospital who could be him who's in a coma.
This was a load of pants because, I'm sorry, I know it was slightly mysterious last week and it wasn't 100% confirmed, but surely everybody knew, having watched last Wednesday's episode, that Lou was the one behind this, right? She had this mysterious new phone. The doctors at the hospital are saying, oh, we need to ring his next of kin. And then she got a phone call. There was another clue I can't remember. We weren't in any doubt, were we, that it was Lou going into this episode. And yet they decided to spend the first half of the episode teasing us, saying, oh, who could this be? We're not going to show you who it is. We're going to do a point of view shot because we know you viewers love these alternative camera angles. Did you have...
They obviously didn't have... I was going to say, because they just revealed that Gary was in hospital last week.
No, that was 2 weeks ago that was revealed.
Okay, but they didn't trust that. They didn't reveal that it... Like, I was half expecting them to go on, like, Monday. Oh, guess what this week? Lou's going to be revealed as the mystery person. Because they can't keep a secret. Even though we all guessed it.
No, totally. But, yeah, so you had this. Then later on in the episode, you got this other POV cam wandering down the corridor in the hospital. And there's people opening doors for her. And I'm like, for goodness sake, why are you doing this?
I thought it was Madonna.
What?
Because people would open doors for Madonna. If I saw Madonna in hospital, I'd be like, oh, brilliant. There you go.
Is that I know who it is. I know who it is. Corrie doesn't do point of view shots. It doesn't need to do point of view shots. And then they had that other scene of her later where, well, it's Gary in the hospital bed and you see this mysterious hand stroking his wrist or whatever it was. Surely everybody was just shouting,
at one point.
"It's Lou!"
We saw the back of her head at another point, didn't we?
Yeah. And then when they had the big reveal, it was like, "Thank you." But it was supposed to be like, "Aha, you never guessed this, did you? You literally told us."
I wonder
that was badly done.
if they were covering that, like, Farrell Haggerty wasn't around for, like,
yeah,
a day of filming.
Maybe she was off
and they're like,
sick
what can we do?
day.
Point of view, that's easy. You could literally, like, pretend you'd cast, like, Judi Dench in Corrie and just say, oh, no, it's just point of view from Judi Dench.
It really is her.
Episode.
She was the one holding the camera.
Yeah.
Or we strapped it to her forehead.
We strapped it to her like a GoPro.
So, come on, Dench.
Come on, Jude, let's go.
You're a professional, aren't you? You do it for the art.
Yeah. Right, so anyway.
So I didn't get on with that, basically.
So Kit heads off to the hospital to see that the victim is not actually Gary. And this was, like, probably one of the only big surprises of the week. Because...
I suppose so.
But
what did it achieve?
It was just a surprise. But...
It delayed Maria finding out about Gary in the hospital by half an episode, is what it achieved.
I mean, I far be it from either of us to nitpick, because we would never do that. But I did text my friend who is a doctor who works in a hospital and said, just on average, how many people are in a coma in a big hospital in a big city? How many people are in a coma because of some kind of traumatic brain injury? And he was like, on average, none.
And here there were 2 at once.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This guy is...
Maybe it's like buses. You wait for ages for a traumatic brain injury coma patient to come in and then 2 come in at once.
I think
always
that
away.
This guy might be dead now.
He's dead to me. Like, literally, I don't care.
Maybe he's a new character.
I will admit that I semi-appreciated the fact that they tried to pull the rug out from under us, didn't they, with it? And it's like, oh, it's not Gary. And like I said earlier, we should have been able to piece it together ourselves that it wasn't Gary because it was
not
John Doe.
An unidentified person.
No.
We don't call them John Doe in this country.
I do.
What do we call them?
When I'm talking about them.
John Smith.
But anyway, yeah, so that wasn't too bad, but it came to not much in the end. Unless I'm wrong.
Kit finds...
Could be.
Well, it gave someone a job, didn't it?
Yeah.
Kit finds Maria in the waiting room.
He's going to put that on his CV, that actor, isn't he?
Oh, it was dead Gary.
Unidentified coma patient, brackets, not Gary.
Right. Kit finds Maria in the waiting room, says it wasn't Gary, and Maria's like, well, where is he? I can't believe it. Then this POV cam that Lou's stolen off somebody, because she is a bit of a tea leaf, isn't she? I wouldn't be surprised if she just take it off the crew. Just go, I'll do this. Do I get paid
Give me
extra?
the camera, I will stave your head in with this lead pipe.
Yeah, right. So she's going off down the corridor to see Gary, and of course it's Lou. We get revealed it's Lou. And she's crying to the nurse later, going, how long is he going to be in the coma? Could be weeks, it could be years. And the nurse says, well, bring the kids in. How many kids has he got? And she's like, this guy's has between 3 to 5. Me, I've got a separate number. I mean, genuinely, if you add them all up, he's got over 10.
Between us, yeah. And I don't think you allow that many people on the ward at once, do you? So, no dice.
No, sorry. You couldn't leave one of them out, could you? Because they get really sad.
Did you feel sorry for Lou this week? I know I said earlier on that I didn't like what they did with her, and they've made her more of a villain again.
But I don't feel sorry for her, really.
She didn't need to hit him round the head with a pipe, did she?
I think it was an accident.
It wasn't really an accident.
It was an accident at work. It wasn't her fault. It was in the last 3 years. I think she can claim compensation.
I would have thought that before I'd said, she could be redeemed. And, people have done worse on Corrie and been redeemed for it, I know. But, that was an act of a Corrie villain, I'm going to say. And it's a real shame because she's got such potential.
Community service. 3 weeks.
Okay.
Litter.
I do. Everybody makes mistakes. That's the thing, and I think because I still do, deep in my heart, really, really love Lou. I did feel bad for her because we've all done something and then just gone, oh my gosh, how do I get out of this? Or what's going to happen to me because of this? Do I tell the truth about it? Do I start one lie and then it just spirals into more and more? Literally, we have all experienced.
We find out this episode how it came to be.
Yes.
And it kind of makes sense when you see this set of circumstances why
She's got no money because she's an abuse victim.
Well, it wasn't that. It was... Well, I'll get to it. Right, so Lou's like, please wake up. Please wake up. Then, back on the street, Maria gets a notification from Gary's bank that he's just used his card in a warehouse at Tile Street. And I think this is...
I can't remember. Does Kit kind of rush off to investigate that? But I don't think that they get any further.
There's no
that.
CCTV there.
Yeah, they say that on today's episode.
So
Don't
Lou gets this flashback to the night of the party, and she is standing over him, holding a crowbar. Then we get another flashback to go a bit back further, and Gary is saying to Lou, "Oh, I thought we were mates, but mates don't blackmail each other."
Oh, this is the bit.
On
Sorry,
Corrie, they do.
I'm not really just in a grumpy mood. When Lou started looking at Gary, and then you start to hear the echoey flashback quotes from him, and it was almost like you were hearing his thoughts. I was like, oh, here we go. And we all knew it was going to be a flashback, didn't we? Corrie could not resist doing a flashback because they love him at the moment. So I was bracing myself for it. But genuinely, I wasn't expecting a flashback in Thursday's episode. I didn't go into it expecting tonight's the night that we find out what happened. And yeah, just the way that they did it, I was like, oh, come on. It all wibbly wobbly, woozy, fuzzy.
Okay, but we've had this conversation before. Like, is there another way of like depicting the past?
Show it when it happened. I don't know. I am really torn about it because I'm not inherently against the medium of flashbacks, but I think if I'm kind of in the mood to take against something, and I think other parts of that episode had already led me down that path, then I.
Can I ask you, when you think of a memory, can you picture yourself doing it?
Yes, I guess.
I know that there are different levels of, like, if I say, right, picture an apple in your head, like, there are different levels of, like, people just think of the concept of an apple, and then other people will think of, like, a fully formed 2D, 3D apple, and there's all kind of in between.
I don't see it as quite, 4K HD as Lou did the other day.
No, I know. I think that Coronation Street characters need to be studied by psychologists because they have got excellent recall, and they always do it from like slightly above themselves. Yeah,
they picture themselves in it as well, don't they?
Weird. I don't do that when I remember my memories. Right, so the bickering between these two, she's trying to get money from him because I think she's trying to blackmail him, and he's like, no way, I would have given it to you if you had.
She needs the money because she's been left in the lurch by her murderous husband Mick, hasn't she? So she's got a reason to be desperate.
Sell his football shirt.
But everyone in Coronation Street at some point or another has got a reason to desperately need money.
Yeah, but almost all of them have bonked somebody on the head over
I'm going to say that's not true.
I don't think that
most people have got some level of some little voice in their ear saying no, but not Lou.
Right, so he says that, you're not getting any money. He starts to walk off, and she says, "Oh, I texted you from the phone because he was trying to set her. She was trying to set him up."
Oh yes.
And he calls her pathetic and tries to walk off. So she's like, "No way!" Grabs a pipe, whacks him over the head. He collapses on the ground, and she
hides behind some crates or something, doesn't she? Because
by the baby wizard.
Yes, because we can hear Nina and Summer coming along. Again, another very coincidental coming together of people that are all characters in the same TV programme and not just random bystanders. Although there was one later that phoned a hospital, to be fair, wasn't there?
Yeah. So Lou's sobbing at Gary's bedside saying, "Oh, it's all my fault, I did this." And there's even a bit where she says this to the nurse, and the nurse is like, "Don't blame yourself."
I know.
And there's also another bit where somebody says, I don't think it's this story, but they say, "I've got to tell you something. Let me tell you first." Oh, that was in the
Kevin and Abby storyline. Another, what did you want to tell me? Nothing.
This was very much like ChatGPT. Can you come up with 5 soap cliches and make them in one episode?
Well, the final one was in this episode was the last few seconds, wasn't it? Because I'm sorry to skip forward a little bit, but when they had Lou leaving Gary in his hospital bed, I turned to you and I said, "Bet his eyes are going to open now at the end of the episode," and stone me, they did. So, yeah, this is why I was just a little bit down on it. Those bits that didn't particularly make sense. There was unnecessarily overly arty editing. and it was just a
Don't
little
like
too
it when they
tropey
try
for
to
me.
Don't like it when they don't try at all. What do you
And
expect?
it was dark and policey, and it was very hospitally.
So
That's what I thought.
So Lou's hiding behind, in the flashback, this whatever bin, and Nina and Summer come along and they find him. He reaches out to them. They scream and run away.
Yeah, he's down on his front, isn't he?
Yeah.
We'd wondered because we'd heard them talking about somebody lunging at them. I think was the word that they used a week or two ago when they were talking about it. And we were saying, or maybe he was like staggering about and lunged at them, but it was more a case of he was lying flat on his stomach and then he kind of reaches out for a second and that scares them off.
Yes.
But they didn't recognise it was him, I suppose, because they were off their faces on LSD.
So Lou, so they run away screaming. Lou comes over to Gary and then a man and his dog walk past, and Lou kind of says, "It's my husband," and so the man calls an ambulance for him, and that's how he ended up in hospital, and that is how Lou ended up being called his wife. I'm not really sure why she decided to call him Chesney. I mean, I don't think it's just because he was ginger. I think it's because it's the only person that she knows. She didn't know many other characters.
I don't know how these wards on hospitals work, but is there, we have NHS numbers, we have records on file. We have DNA or fingerprint or some kind of date.
No, they would have DNA'd him, but they would have gone, okay, I'm going to need to take some details like his date of birth and stuff.
Yeah, just to confirm.
They would have linked it to his. They would have linked it to his name, and then they would have found his records, wouldn't they? She didn't know when Chesney was born.
No, I wonder how often people try this one on in real life. Didn't they? I'm sure there was a story in Corrie a few years ago where some people brought. Oh, wasn't it when what are their names? Mike and Angela were taking Summer to the hospital for something. I'm vaguely remembering something, and they were trying to say that she was someone or other, and then Aggie said, "No, that's not someone or other. That's Summer." Is this ringing any bells for you?
Yeah.
But
I don't know how it works because I've never been bonked on the head and been taken to hospital.
No, but it just feels a bit full of
So
holes.
she says, "Look, sorry, Gary. I know you're unconscious and you can't really hear me, but I've got to let you know, I can't go to prison. I've got to look after the kids. I need you to, I need you to wake up, and I will need to be here when you do it," because she obviously thinks that she can intercept him and kind of like stop him from talking to everybody. But after she leaves, like you said, he goes, "Ah!" and wakes up.
Eyes open. What's he going to remember?
Dunno.
Well, we find out the next day, don't we?
Not much.
Didn't have to wait long. We watched Thursday's episode just before bed. It was like really late on Thursday. And then I suppose it was Friday afternoon, this afternoon, that we watched today's. But we didn't have much to wait to find out what was going to happen, did we?
Well, I mean, I said to you, we were watching it, because Gary wakes up and he doesn't really know what's going on.
No.
And he's told that, his wife's been non-stop by his side. And so So then Lou goes into the salon, told by Maria about the fact that on the banking app she can see that somebody spent money in Tile Street, and she mentions it's a food shop, and clearly Lou's been buying. It's not like she was buying earrings or anything. She's buying food for her children, so that was a bit of a
silly move.
No, pull on the heartstrings kind of a. She's buying food for her children. She's not really stealing if you're hungry, that kind of thing. She didn't realise that Maria would get a notification on her phone about where the spending was. So she says, "Oh, go and get us some coffee." So she runs out, gets Gary's card and looks at it, but when she gets distracted by Brody, who comes over and, talks to her. So she runs to the cafe.
That didn't seem really to go anywhere.
No,
He says that you better not be skiving, Mum, had you? And then we don't think we saw him again in the episode.
So in the cafe, Lou overhears Summer and Nina arguing, and when they're not looking, she puts Gary's bank card into Summer's bag, and then she goes out the cafe, phones the police, and tells them that it was Nina and Summer who assaulted Gary a few weeks ago. So anyway, Gary wakes up and he's a bit confused when the nurse who told him that his wife has been by his side the whole time is Mrs. Winter Brown.
Yeah, she calls him Mr. Winter Brown, doesn't she?
And he's like, what? And
you can tell he's still a little bit out of it and coming out of the the coma, because she says, "You're Mr. Winter Brown, aren't you?" And his first reaction is, "Right, yeah."
Yeah.
Like, what would you think? Is like, am I?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I said
I
to
might
you.
be.
If this was an American soap in the 80s, Lou might have been able to string him along a little bit and be like, "Yeah, do you remember we got married after you and Maria split up, and it's actually 2030."
Can you imagine the disappointment of thinking, "Oh, I've died and I've been reincarnated as Chesney. Chesney, of all the characters."
Oh, I can't believe it.
Come on, why couldn't I have been... here's a question for you, everybody. If you were to die and be reincarnated as a Coronation Street character, who would it be? If you were to be bonked and then just be sucked, your soul be sucked into their body, who would you choose?
Me?
Oh, yeah, maybe. I mean, I just
Who's
kind of
the
passing it to you because I haven't
character?
thought... You'd be Debbie Webster.
Debbie Webster.
Without the dementia.
Henry Newton.
But I suppose the problem is that everybody is down on their luck in some way, aren't they?
You're not gonna have
if you're going to be
happy
reincarnated
story.
as a Coronation Street character, you're going to have some tragedy
I know.
coming
I
up
would
on you
be,
pretty soon.
I would be the woman from the Weatherfield Donkey Sanctuary North.
Just one scene and done.
You see you later. I'm going to look after a bunch of donkeys and get paid for it.
I don't know.
What a charmed life she leads.
I literally... Maybe I would be Ken, because at least I'd know that I'd have a good innings.
And he was
And
also
a bit of
not
excitement,
boring at
and
all.
I'd have a good old run with the ladies. That wouldn't be
Exactly.
too bad, would it? But then I'd have to be born in 1939, and that's not the best time, really, is it?
Well, no, but every year's got better since then for Ken, hasn't it?
I suppose it has. 1983 was a bit hit or miss for him, but
Well-
and then 1990 I think maybe as well, not so good. But
I mean, start during the war. You can only get better, really.
this is true.
So, he's like, okay, I guess I am Chesney. How depressing. So
At least I didn't kill Rana and Rick Nealon anymore.
the real Chesney wasn't in it this week.
Yes, he was. You were doing lots of work on your phone for Soap Week during today's episodes, and I thought you probably did miss some key points. But
So
the
what
real
did he
Chesney
do?
Winter Brown, he doesn't really do anything. Again, a bit like Brody, his appearance seemed to be a let's get Sam Aston into an episode kind of appearance, because I thought that they were gonna, if you got somebody being called Chesney Brown that isn't actually him, going by his name, you make something of it if you're gonna have the character in the episode. But he didn't really do anything. He came into the salon wanting you remember he wanted a haircut for Karis and Cleo.
I do remember now because he does the boys.
Yeah. He does the boys, and I want to see that. Chesney attacking the Barnets.
Do you think he does his own hair?
Oh,
as well?
I quite liked the semi-running gag in today's episode of David picking up the phone and saying, "Hello, this is Audrey's Barnett," or "Mops by Aud," or something.
Yes, there was a couple of jokes like that, wasn't there?
I quite enjoyed that.
So David's getting a phone call from Gary. And he passes it to Maria, who learns that he's in hospital with a head injury. So she rushes off. Then Lou comes in with the coffees that
She took bloody ages getting those coffees, didn't she?
She learns that what's happened, and she looks scared and tries to get her week's wages a few hours early off of David. And he's like, "No, you have to wait to the end of the day."
So do you think she was just
she's gonna run off.
planning a flit
But
here?
what's she going to do with the kids?
Drop them off at Sally and
Or
Tim's.
do you think she was going to take them with her?
She spent the best part of 2 weeks, or I don't know what the time period has been like in Weatherfield, because it's been spotty for us as viewers. But yeah, who has been looking after the girls all this time? Has it just been Brody on babysitting duty? Poor kid.
I don't know. So, I don't know.
That's the end to that then.
So she comes in with the coffees, looks worried when she finds out what's happened, and can't get the wages early. Meanwhile, Shona is intrigued that Lauren is gonna have our...
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
that's from a different story.
No, it's not. I put this in the same story because
Okay.
it's not really any other story, but
So,
it's not really this story either. I do
Lauren
apologise.
tells Shona that Aadi's helping her move a sofa.
I put this in here because it's somewhat related to the party, which the rest of this is as well.
So she hears Nina getting a phone call from the police to say that they want to speak to her, and then also Summer gets the same call. So they're both a bit worried.
Yes, they're summoned to the station.
If you ever commit a crime with Nina, don't expect her. She just folds immediately.
Yeah.
She's got absolutely no staying power, has she, that girl?
She's been learning from Roy, hasn't she?
She's like Brendan Dassey in Making a Murderer. She just confessed to everything.
Yeah, I think Roy, when he tucks her into bed at night, just reads a bedtime story about how to be an upstanding citizen and always tell the truth, no matter what. There's no such thing as a white lie. And the one and only time that I ever lied,
she doesn't even know what really happened.
I had to go to South America to make myself feel better.
Right, so Maria gets to the hospital room and gives Gary a big hug and tells him that she was worried about him. And he's confused because he's like, everyone says that I'm Chesney.
Please tell me I'm not Chesney, Maria.
This is like one of those 80s movies where you wake up in someone else's body.
It's Freaky Friday, isn't it?
So somewhere Chesney's running around in Gary's body beating people up probably because he's been repressing it all these years.
At last I can grow a beard. This is what I've been wanting
He's like,
my whole
Maria,
life.
I've been away from you for so long. We need to reunite if I know what I mean. You know what I mean? Right, so he says, look, they told me my wife's been visiting me every day. Here's her number. This was a bit contrived. Here's her number. And she looks at it in her phone and she's quite stunned to see that it turns out that it is actually Lou's number. So she phones David up and tells him, like, in a coded way, to keep Lou from leaving the salon. And David was very good on this. He was like, oh yeah, I'm just booking you in. So Lou's like, oh, can I go please? Can I get my money and go? But David tells her that, oh no, that was someone on the phone who wants a cut and blow dry, so they're going to come in a minute, you have to stay. So
I just love how easily lies and manipulation and come to David. It's just like, yeah, I can do this. Don't worry, I got you back here, Maria. I'm the master liar.
So Lauren goes to the corner shop and Aadi's there giving her an air fryer for a housewarming present. And she had been told by Shona earlier when they was talking about him helping her move the sofa that a boy will only do that because he wants to get in your pants. And so she snaps at him because she doesn't want to be beholden to anybody and she thinks he's only after one thing.
Same with air fryers, really. Give a girl an air fryer and she's yours.
I thought you were going to say give a guy's only after one thing if he gives you an air fryer.
What's that?
Chicken nuggets.
Abby, grill me some nuggets. I've got cancer still.
Summer and Nina arrive at the station. They're both pretty worried and Summer's bag falls open.
Contrived.
The card falls out and they're like, oh no.
What's that, a pregnancy? I'm sorry, a card? Honestly.
Did everybody write down the details? Everybody got themselves a delivery this evening?
What was I saying about... Gary's signature was weird. That did not look like it said Gary Windass. If you were taking a chance and thinking, I want to guess Gary's signature, I can guess his password. I think his signature might look like this. I'd be like, no, you're barking up the wrong tree.
I literally don't know any other way of signing my name than to write my name really fast. How do people come up with these fancy signatures? I don't even know.
Well, he just does a squiggle, doesn't he?
Yeah. So
yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like it falling out of the bag.
Meanwhile, David's still delaying giving Lou her wages, and it's getting very tense when Maria comes in and goes, "Aha! You're behind it," and Lou's like, "No," but Maria and David, think that she's lying, and Lou's insisting, like, "No, you haven't got any proof. Has anyone got a photo of me? Didn't think so. It wasn't me." And David says, "I bet you attacked him. Bet you attacked Gary." And Lou's like, "No, but I think I know who did." Then we get to see more of Nina and Summer at the police station, and Nina's suspicious that Summer's got the card in her bag, which I think is weird because this would be very out of character. Like, does anyone ever? How many teenage girls have tried to murder a man for his bank card?
I'm gonna say not many. Especially not Summer, who, well, until recently, until we heard about exactly what she's been getting up to in America, I would say she was very much a goody two-shoes. But maybe Nina was thinking, blimey, I'm seeing a whole new light to her now. First she's taken hallucinogenics across the pond, and now she's whacking gingers around the head to buy some food on Tile Street.
Not even like she's just kind of murdering grown men, but she's doing it right in front of you.
I don't know.
And expecting you not to notice.
No, she's
suspicious. Nina's suspicious. And so she's like, we need to sort this out. So they go into the police station. Meanwhile, David, this was quite funny because David was talking on the phone with Shona and the conversation seems like it's about what they're having for dinner, but then when he puts the phone down he's like, oh yeah, Shona also said that Nina and Summer are the ones who killed or tried to kill Gary.
Wasn't he saying about chicken nuggets? Was it chicken nuggets or mini burgers that they had a choice between?
I've never heard of mini burgers. I've heard of sliders.
I think they're just kids' burgers.
Do you think that mini burgers are like the off-brand sliders?
Yeah, probably. It's a northern thing.
Maybe. So, Shona does seem like the sort of person who thinks if you eat 3 mini burgers, it's better for you than one big one. So, it looks as though Maria is kind of believing that Nina and Summer are actually the ones behind it and Lou's innocent.
This was odd to me.
No, I don't think it's that odd because Lou was really quite convincing that it wasn't her. The only reason we didn't believe her is because we knew that it was her.
But what the fact that the hospital had Lou's number and that was the one that they rang, you know, I would say, what more evidence do you need? I didn't really get how they went on to thinking it was Nina.
You would have thought that
Summer.
Lou would have said, someone is setting everybody up here. Like, they're giving out my number to try to make it look like it was me.
If I was Lou at this stage, I'd just be like, it doesn't matter who did it, does it? He's okay now. Let's just move on. Go and buy him some grapes. If
I was Lou at this point, I'd get that bloody metal bar and whack everyone else over the head with it, take the cash out of the till and run away. She might as well.
Could still happen.
So Maria's like, well, if it was Nina and Summer, then who's been visiting Gary? And how did they know who Chesney and Gemma were to pretend that they were them? And then she's like, it must have been you, Lou, because you know who they are. But David says, well, she's not that thick to stitch herself up like this. So Maria backs down and thinks it's a mystery. So meanwhile, Kit is interviewing Summer and Nina, and Nina's pretty much just dropping Summer in it. They don't really remember what happens, but Nina's pretty sure it's all Summer's fault. And he tells them, right, you're going to have to be interviewed separately. Later on, Lauren watches Aadi helping Fizz with her flat tyre, which makes her think that he is actually a really nice guy. And she tells Shona later that she's going to try to be friends with him.
This felt a little bit like the writers were told, right, you need to go in the space of 4
scenes.
20-second scenes. Lauren needs to go to realising that Aadi is actually a fair candidate for dating. So off you go. Good luck with that. Buys her an air fryer, changes Fizz's tyre. Although I am very impressed that Aadi knows how to change a tyre. I don't know how to change a tyre. I wouldn't say it's a thing that everybody knows. Maybe it's a thing that everybody should know. But I don't think that Aadi would know it, if you see what I mean.
I also don't think that Dev would know how to tell him.
No, I don't think...
Dev seems like the sort of guy who's like, I pay somebody to do that.
Yeah. Aadi is just like, oh yeah, of course I can change it. I mean, he does have a lot of time off screen, so maybe that's what he's doing, boning up on...
Yeah, I've been doing a course in mechanics.
He does, of course... No, he doesn't work. No, he doesn't live opposite the garage either, does he?
He works opposite. Maybe he comes out every so often and just watches them...
Yeah.
Changing tyres.
I don't know. There's probably lots of listeners screaming at us now saying, Michael, learn how to change a tyre, you failure of a man. But
I've
got this far without it. And
you don't even know how to fill up your windscreen liquid.
Yes, I do know how to fill up my liquid. Why don't you do it then? I just forget to.
The stuff that's coming out of the car thingy now is...
It's a bit sludgy, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not my car, so
this isn't about me. This is about how much of a brilliant man and eligible bachelor.
Maybe Aadi can sort our car out when he's finished with Fizzes.
Get Amy and Aadi together. I don't want him dating Lauren. She's dull. I'm not impressed by this. Anyway, is that they're only going down this route because he was the one that is responsible for her getting all drugged up, isn't it? So I'm sure that they will get together and then it's all going to come out. Right,
Maria, Lou and David are all enjoying some biscuits and Maria starts going, you know what? You said that Gary's money was spent in his shop and you said the name of the shop, but I didn't tell you what the name of the shop was. I think it was you who done it.
Busted.
You're busted. And Maria says, like, you attacked Gary. And Lou's like, ah! Tries to run away, but the police come in at exactly that moment.
Yeah. They'd already rung him.
She goes to the police station, tells Kit she is not guilty, and he needs to get her out of there. And he says, well, it's not how it works. Sorry. Also, social services is going to arrange for somebody to look after your kids.
Who could it be?
Sally and Tim.
Sally and Tim will do. Although I think that that's just a temporary looking after.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah. It's a good job that there is somebody that can temporarily look after them, really, isn't it?
They would have found somebody.
Yeah, I know. They wouldn't have said, right, girls, just look after yourselves for about 5 nights, all right?
Right, we've chucked a mattress on the floor outside the police station. You'll be all right. So, Nina gets to the cafe and is still quite freaked out about what's happened. And Summer comes in afterwards and left alone. Nina goes, sorry, Summer. Sorry about that. And Summer's like, no, we're not friends anymore. Get bent. I agree. Maria goes to see Gary and says to him, Did anything happen between you and Lou? Why is she involved in this? Is there anything I need to know? And he doesn't tell her anything. Then we get to see the girls are with Sally, and Brody's there too.
Oh yeah, all the Carlist girls are there
then,
once again.
Brody calls up Mick and tells him what's been going on, and Mick says, I need your help with Summit tomorrow. Keep your phone on. I think he's doing Soap Week.
I think you're right. I was gonna say he needs to help him download episode 688 of Conversation Street, but it is maybe he's doing something charitable on Saturday for Soap Week. It's got to be.
Maybe he's like, can you get donations for me, son?
Yeah, if I can raise more than the Conversation Street Walk for Webster on my Just Giving page, they'll let me out of prison.
I like. Or
maybe he wants to go on a charity walk, and he's like, I can't do it in prison, can I?
No, let me out.
Just let me out. I promise I'll come back.
Yeah,
it's for
just
charity.
Like Terry Duckworth.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What?
Like he ran away.
Everybody's bloody running away from prison. Rob Donovan ran away from prison 3 months ago, didn't he?
Yes.
It's very easy to do. Tony Gordon, Harvey. They need better prison guards in Weatherfield, if indeed this is what this is.
Yeah, maybe he's not breaking out of prison, Michael. Did you think of that?
No, maybe it's like a crossword or something, the Saturday crossword.
Yeah, the Times, New York Times.
You're a smart one, Brody. You're good at the cryptic clues, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, doing Talk of the Streets one for Soap Week.
Oh yeah, Talk of the Streets. Yeah. So how did you find this?
Can I just say, I thought it was quite funny that Mick at the very end of the episode was pictured on the phone, like literally behind iron bars, because they were like, how are we going to show that he's in prison? We need to remind everybody he's in prison because they might forget. What can we do? And somebody from the costume department says, oh, we got one of these outfits with the arrows on it. And then someone says, stupid, I haven't used those for years.
Let's just get some iron bars. I really want to see a behind the scenes of that shot because it was a real close-up of him, wasn't it? So they must have had like a 1 metre square set of bars, camera tight in, and say people will definitely believe he's in prison.
Where are those bars in prison?
Well, whenever we see anybody in prison on Coronation Street,
they're in a room.
They're just in a room with a big sturdy metal door.
Look to me like they're just at dorms at university.
Yeah, but the thing is, they do have a set at Coronation Street, don't they?
Yeah.
It's a prison set.
Wouldn't it be lovely if they had got rid of that, and that's why they had to show him in a close-up with a bunch of... But maybe it's somebody's barbecue grill that they brought in, a close-up of it.
I think that Mick's going to try and persuade Brody to smuggle in protein powder for him until he gets really beefy, and then he can just pull those bars apart and slip through.
Just not eat anything and he can just slip through.
Yeah, it's just... Don't,
it's one or the other. You can't combine those tactics.
That's why they don't use those bars for prison doors anymore. It's just
too easy
too escapable.
Yeah.
So how did you find the story this week? I know I've been a bit down on it.
But it's a bit of a caper, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any opinions that you'd like to share on this podcast? Are you enjoying it?
I didn't mind. I thought it was all a bit silly, and I didn't really mind it because I'm not at this point. At least it's not an issue storyline about.
Yes.
What's it like when your husband's in prison, and you can't feed children, so you steal a card? It's like, no, it's just a bit of shenanigans, isn't it?
I am genuinely glad that Maria and Gary have got a bit more screen time at the moment because they have been underserved this year, I'm going to say. The McAllisters are being well used ever since their arrival on the street 6 or so months ago. But yeah, just that... I don't know, it seems to have, many elements that I would tick off as what makes a good soap story, like... bit of intrigue, a bit of mystery, a bit of whodunit, a bit of secrets and lies. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't quite hit the spot for me, unfortunately, this week for various reasons. But okay, let's move on. Sorry if anybody else really liked this story this week, but as I say, I'm also quite hot. Family Affair, another unfortunately story that I can't quite get behind, and we were left last week with the bombshell that Kevin does indeed not
have
have
cancer.
cancer.
Well done.
Despite the fact that he's telling everybody his. And I've not changed my opinion on how despicable this is. Making your wife believe that you've still got a very serious illness just because you're feeling a little bit insecure about the state of your relationship. Sorry, no excuses. And now what we see this week is a couple of other people finding out the truth, and then Kevin convincing them to join him in his little web of lies. Come on, Kevin, you're not like this. And there's this lingering affair in the how.
Haven't had an affair yet.
I know they haven't had an affair yet, but yeah, it doesn't feel like there's mega developments in this week. It's basically just let's double down on this story. Who's going to know, who's not going to know, and a couple of other people find out, and a couple of other people keep quiet, and then Jack comes back from a school holiday, which explains why he's not been around recently, but nobody was asking where's Jack, were they? But anyway, we start off in the cafe, and Kevin's thanking Aadi, and what an arsey thing to do, say, oh Aadi, you're so wonderful, thank you for all your support. He's literally there saying, really laying it on thick. I mean, I know, if I was in his position, and I thought, this is the only way. If I was him and you were Aadi,
okay,
and I was thinking this is the only way that I can keep Gemma,
tell you what,
by lying to her and telling her.
I can change a tyre for you if you like.
Thank you.
But I think you can do it yourself.
I can't. Sorry.
You can if you're Kevin.
Telling her how great she is. I kind of half get it, but when this gets found out.
If I found out you lied to me that you had cancer, I would never speak to you again.
You literally wouldn't. You are a vengeful sort, and you do hold grudges.
I would microwave your head until it was true.
Exactly. And I think that Aadi could possibly be a bit more forgiving than that. But I don't think she would. And I don't think she would need to, because it's terrible what he's doing.
Yeah, because when Tyrone gets roped into this later... you very often, when something like this happens, you kind of imagine how would I react. I would not be able to keep somebody's secret. You
said that as we were watching, didn't you? You were like, if I was Tyrone, I'd be marching right over to Aadi right now and telling her.
Like, affairs, it's difficult. It's a difficult one. It depends on how well you know everybody. Like, it's not a great thing to cheat.
No.
It's not always your business to tell the other person, though, is it?
No.
But in this is like I wouldn't even have a moral dilemma about should I tell them?
Sorry, Kevin, your status as stalwart on the street for the past 40 years doesn't mean that you can get away with a massive whopper like this.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's there telling Aadi, "Oh, thanks for your support. I've got cancer," and
they're having a veggie breakfast because he's got cancer.
Yes, exactly.
It's for all those sausages.
She's telling him that he's gonna smash that cancer in the face. And Kev's like, well, you know what, Aadi, my lovely wife, with you by my side, I can do anything. And Abby's like, look, we need to tell Jack about it, though. And Kev says, well, what have you done it? I've told him I've got the old clear. After all, one day I will. So he is saying, yep, I'm...
No, he's going, look, help me lie to
Jack. He's telling Aadi he's lying to his son, but actually he's not.
It'll all be fine in the end. So I'm telling him it's okay because he wants to minimise the fallout here.
Yeah, we did kind of preemptively tear him a new one last week when we assumed that he might be lying to Jack as well, didn't we? Because it's already unforgivable, but telling your son, yeah, I've still got cancer actually, that's just bang out of order. The problem is, Jack's not thick. He's going to hear other people around telling Kevin, I'm really sorry about your cancer, surely. Mm. He's very tall. He's got his head above most everybody else. He's like a little radar. I can imagine him poking him out of the clouds, rotating his neck around and honing in on somebody, offering Kevin their condolences or whatever you say to somebody whose cancer hasn't quite cleared up yet. That. Sorry, Kevin. But yeah, I hope he finds out. I hope he does. And I hope he gives Kevin a good old staring out.
Takes his leg off and whacks it.
I don't think that Jack's really got it in him to really deliver the kind of venom that is required in this situation. But anyway, Carl bounds into the lounge at this point, and Kevin tells him.
No, they're in the cafe.
Oh yeah, sorry, they're in the cafe at this, aren't they? Yeah, and Kevin says, yeah, I'm cancer free. And Carl's like, oh, fantastic, great guns, this is good. And Abby's kind of squirming away. feeling that these lies that she's now complicit in are just going to be spreading to all their nearest and dearest.
Abby's not squirming. Abby's squirming because she and Carl had made an agreement about what would happen. Yes,
it's that as well.
No, it's not. She doesn't. She's not squirming because of the lies, because she doesn't know it's a lie.
What does she? No.
She's squirming because the fact that Kevin's told Carl that he's got cancer changes the plans, and Carl knows that
Kevin's told Carl he doesn't have cancer.
I know.
And Abby thinks that he does have cancer.
Yes.
So she doesn't like the fact that there's lying.
When they had a conversation, she told Carl that she was going to leave Kevin if he didn't have cancer.
Yes.
And so the fact that Carl has now been told, I'm cancer free, she's like, oh God, is he going to say something?
Like what?
Like, well, me and Abby are in love with each other.
No, but he was never going to say that anyway.
No, but she doesn't know that, does she?
Okay,
that's why she's squirming, because she remembers the conversation that they had.
Yeah, because her original plan was to go off on her own somewhere for a bit, wasn't it? She told Carl, I'm not going to be with you straight away. That's just too harsh. That's kicking him when he's down in the balls, probably. And but he is a bit of a... He could say anything at this point, you're right.
Yeah, so she's squirming and then says, no, he's not cancer-free. Because she doesn't want Carl to say anything. Right. And Kevin is like, no, it's fine. But they all go back to the house and start arguing.
Yeah. So, the brothers go back to the house. They start arguing.
Kevin can't really help himself.
But argue. He argues with anybody.
He touches very close to what is his true problem with Cole without coming right out about the affair, going, you don't even care about me, you only care about yourself.
Yeah.
So what do you care whether I've got cancer?
Yeah, he's clearly jealous of Carl's youth, good looks, charm.
Yeah, but he's telling the truth in this moment, because he's like saying, you don't actually care whether I've got cancer or not. You only care about it because it affects you and Abby. He can't say that. So he just says as much as he can say.
Yeah, Abby comes in and tries to break up this argument. Carl's just kind of baffled about what's going on completely.
Yeah, he's got no idea.
What is... I mean, if I knew Kev... I suppose maybe that's why Carl's baffled, because he doesn't know Kev that well. Everybody who knows Kev knows that it doesn't take very much to wind him up at all, because he is, as we know, Kev the crank, and he loves a good argument. He is all about the rants and the banters, Kev. But anyway, Kev says, look, I don't trust you, bro. Bugger off out my house. So Carl kind of reluctantly shuffles off. And
then Carl and Abby have a talk in the garage.
Oh yeah. And Abby just says, look, Kevin just needs a lot of love at the moment. We've been through a lot together. He's my priority now. I can't be doing anything with you at the moment. And so they go home, and Kevin declares he would like a Chinese buffet, which is quite ironic because that's what we had for our dinner last night as well.
We didn't have a buffet.
It was food.
We had a takeaway.
Don't downplay it, Gemma.
I know, but a buffet you can put more on your plate, different things.
I got to choose whether I wanted chicken and black bean sauce or whether I wanted spicy shredded beef. That's a buffet in my book.
Well, I couldn't, because I don't like spicy shredded beef. It's horrible.
Well, I don't like yours either. Friday comes.
Why did you say you could choose then?
I could choose not to have it.
I offered it to you and you wouldn't have it.
I know.
You don't like it?
I don't love it. It's all right.
There's a difference between not loving it and not liking it.
Oh, I had enough of the other
ones.
The
most delicious thing.
Friday, Jack comes to the garage. He wants money off of Kevin for a cinema trip or something after school. I don't know. And Abby comes along, and she's not very pleased to see that they're kicking a ball around together, because Kevin... Does he get a ball in the Ghoulies, I think, or something happens?
Yeah.
And Abby's like, oh, Jack, how could you play football with him? Because
his balls are radioactive.
Exactly.
If you hit him with another ball, and 3 balls together with radioactive powers... He'd probably transform into some kind of anti-hero.
Exactly. Now, Tyrone and Debbie are here at the moment as well. And they're seeing all of this, and they're seeing that maybe she's getting a bit frantic over nothing. So she says, we need to tell everybody the truth, i.e. Tyrone and Debbie, we got to find out that your balls aren't responding to the chemo, and you're not actually as cancer-free as you may well have implied earlier on. So Debbie tells Kevin, right, Debbie does dementia, is off. Let's get you sorted out first.
I agree with
then
this.
You can worry about me.
Debbie's like, you know what, this storyline, maybe I just won't do it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's too many Webster storylines at once.
Yeah.
I just won't do it this year.
I wouldn't mind delaying Debbie's dementia storyline for a little bit,
me too.
To kick that ball a bit further down the road.
You've got to have an affair storyline instead.
Oh, so Kevin says, right, fine, whatever. I've got to go and get my chemo done today, but instead he goes to the precinct, and I thought it was chips he was eating. You said earlier it was a sausage roll.
No, I said sausage roll because that's the sort of thing I imagine him eating.
Where
do you get chips from?
You're right, there isn't a chip shop, is there? There is Rutland's, the bakery, so maybe it was more likely to be a sausage roll, I don't know. But anyway, Tyrone... He
doesn't strike me as a sweet enough kind of guy.
No, Kevin wouldn't want to have a sweet enough because the cups are pink or something like that.
Yeah,
I think he wouldn't be able to cope with that.
Endanger his masculinity.
Exactly. Tyrone just so happens to also be going to the precinct at the moment. I think he does like a bit of sweet enough, to be honest. But he sees Kevin eating these chips and he's like, hang on a minute, he's supposed to be at the chemo. Gives him a ring. Kev puts the phone down. So back at the garage later, Tyrone mentions to Kev, I tried to ring you earlier. And Kev's like, oh, sorry, I was right in the middle of my chemo. So unwittingly dropping himself right in it with Tyrone, who then calls him out on this lie, saying, well, sorry, mate, I saw you there. Kevin tries to explain his way out of it and says, oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot. My chemo finished earlier today. And then I went to get myself some chips or whatever as a well-done treat. And Tyrone's, no, I don't believe this. Do you remember that Hope had cancer too? That doesn't happen.
Oh, boasting now.
And this is another reason why when Tyrone eventually finds out that Kevin's been lying about this, he's got every right to be pretty peed off, because cancer is certainly, it's never a joking matter, but the fact that his family have been directly touched by it.
1 in 2 of us are going to get it, so don't even think to play that card.
I've seen the posters, Medic General. But anyway, so I'm glad that they did bring that up, because that was a nice and relevant callback. So this all ends up with Kevin telling Tyrone, fair cop, you got me, Ty. I don't actually have cancer. So Tyrone is fuming. They go back home, I think, to number 13. And Kevin says, oh, it's because Abby fancies our kid. Which I'm glad they quickly explained on the programme that he was referring to Carl there and not literally Jack or Alfie, because that would be a bit weird. But yes, our kid means younger brother or sister in Northern slang. Language lesson of the day. Anyway.
Or goat.
Or goat, indeed, but I don't think he's got one of them. Tyrone says, look, this is ridiculous, bloody ridiculous, Kevin, what are you on about? And Kevin says, no, it's not. Well, maybe it is a little bit, but
shut your mouth.
It's all for the greater good and the bigger picture. I'm just playing the long game here, and if I can use these next couple of months to make Abby fall back in love with me again, then it's all going to be worth it in the end, right? And Ty's like, I don't know what to do. Abby's my friend as well, and it's not just a case of it's your wife and you're my mate Kevin. Literally, they work together.
I don't ever want to be involved in any secret keeping where I have to lie to people.
No, that'd be poor Tyrone being dropped in this by Kevin's selfishness and insecurities. It's not
just what are you lying about. It's like how much input am I required to give here? Because I'm not gonna be complicit. I'm not gonna go along with it.
Yeah, I mean, what would happen here is Kevin would be saying to Tyrone, Can you pretend you've come to the chemo session with me today?
Yeah.
Or can you say, I saw a letter from the hospital, but sorry, what a klutz, I accidentally spilled a load of engine oil all over it. Or so I'm not having any of that. And what would Fizz think if she found out that Tyrone was involved in it? I don't know what their relationship is on a better status now since the affair with Alina a couple of years ago, but there certainly must be a few wobbles in there, and Tyrone does not want to be doing anything that's gonna give her cause to give him a good, send him to Coventry or kick him up the bum or whatever. So this is a massive, massive mess. At this stage, is there any way that Kevin can get out of it? I mean, could he say, oh, hospital's called, turns out there was a mistake? At Weatherfield General, I'd probably believe him, to be fair.
Kevin's just going to keep saying I'm having treatment and then go, oh, it worked this time. That's his plan.
Yeah, but he's planning at the moment to keep this going for a couple of months.
Yeah.
If he wants a get out right now, is it still possible, do you think? For him to say
they really messed up.
They really messed up, or turns out it just took one chemo treatment and that did the trick. What do you think of that? He really, really should. This is not something you should be keeping up for 2 months. Anyway, and even if he does, there's still that possibility, isn't there, that Abby's going to find out that he is cancer-free or has been cancer-free. And a week of lying is
Dr.
better than
Gavis
2 months of lying.
Let it slip the other day.
Yeah, it's gonna come out. Oh, honestly, Kevin.
Of course it will.
You've Kevin the plank, not Kevin the crank, I'll tell you. So Tyrone goes up to Kevin in the pub later, because Kevin had said, fine, I'm going to confess to Abby. But unfortunately for him, Abby comes home with a little provisional booking for a little mini break somewhere, and Kevin's the plan's working.
It was the old, I've got something to tell you.
Oh yeah, that was the I've got something to tell you scene, wasn't it? What did you want to say, Kevin?
And then he's like, no, let me tell you first.
Yeah. We're going on a mini break somewhere. What do you want to tell you? What did you want to tell me, Kevin? Nothing.
We've watched too many soaps now that if you came up to me and went, I've got something to tell you, no matter what it was, right? Even if it was like, I don't know how this has happened, Michael, but I've been nominated for an Oscar. Or
right.
Like, we've won the lottery. If you came to me and said, I've got something to tell you, I would always say, okay.
I can hold my news.
What horrible news is this?
Yeah.
Because it's always something horrible, isn't it?
It is.
And the other thing is good news.
Mm-hmm. It's honestly ridiculous.
Or maybe it's like when Kevin and Sally, where he's going to say, I'm having an affair, and she's like, hang on, wait, I've got cancer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. So anyway, Tyrone says, well, have you told Abby? No, actually.
No,
but I will.
We're going to the lakes.
We're going to the Lake District. It's going to be lovely. We just need to find the right time. When is the right time to tell them that, honestly? Maybe when we're back off holiday. No.
I think he should hit Tyrone with an iron.
I think the only way out of this now is to bump Tyrone off, yeah.
Do you know,
stop him blabbing.
Do you know when we were talking about crowbars before? I don't know if I mentioned this. When we were talking about crowbars,
back in the old Joel Deering and the Noble Street, everybody's got a crowbar.
And I was like, who would ever use a crowbar? What possible purpose?
Yeah.
In the month since, I've used one like 2 times.
What for? Whose head have you staved in?
Yeah, I did. I murdered the postman because he left a signed for package out and somebody nicked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also, at the allotment, I murdered the guy that kept nicking our apples.
What really have you used one for? I am genuinely interested.
Prying up some stuff on the decking.
Yeah.
And also getting tent pegs out at the allotment.
Oh, well, there
that
we
was
go.
holding down the polytunnel.
Definitely the intended purpose of Mr. Crowbar, the famed inventor of said implement.
Yeah, right. That's not a very well known fact that it is named after the guy who invented it.
Are you feeling as annoyed by this story as me?
I feel.
Are you mad at Kevin? I mean, I don't know how we can get out. Everybody just makes stupid decisions on this program sometimes, and I know people do in real life, but everyone's just lying and deceitful to each other.
That's part of
So what do you think about? So
you always do this. You always ask me what I think.
Yeah, but then you took a swig of water,
No.
so I was filling the air. Go on.
I don't have the energy to get upset about anything today. I'm so hot. I don't care.
It just happened.
I'm really sorry. I'm not making very good content for everybody today. I don't even remember what I think about this.
That's fine. That's okay.
What do I think about anything?
People can imply what we think. It's what I always told you. I said it last month's bloody podcast. I'm get imply and infer mixed up. It's not very good for a teacher has to do it for reading. Right. Secret Service. Just before you synopsise this was a letdown for me, believe it or not, because I thought maybe we would see a lovely christening service, and we don't get christenings too much on Coronation Street
I only like
anymore.
watching them in case they're going to drop the baby in the font.
I just wanted to... I think that this story would have benefited from Dee-Dee not being made to look completely unreasonable, and I will still say that she's in the wrong here with what she did, but I definitely see her point of view, and I can understand, but I think that it would have made more interesting viewing had we been able to see a lovely church christening, see how just important it is to Dee-Dee, but as it was, they didn't do any of that at all. It just made her seem like an incredibly selfish human being.
Does the fact that James has not actually legally adopted Laila change anything for you? Because we've been talking about this, and I've been saying the status of Laila's, legal, her legal status has not ever been properly explained, and you said, "Oh no, it must have been."
I thought you
they
had.
took her to America, and that you wouldn't be able to do that. And I do think you can't just take a baby to America unless one of the parents is there.
I don't know. I've never tried.
Well, I guess when one of them's dead, it's trickier. But this week, today and Friday, we found out that there isn't actually a legal adoption in place.
So does it change anything for you?
Does a little bit, yeah.
Oh, in what way?
Well, I think my argument would be if I was Dee-Dee, it's like I am the mother and the legal guardian, and I can decide what to do, and I haven't signed anything to say that you're in charge of her immortal soul.
It was a gentleman's agreement, though, wasn't it?
Well, I am no man.
They did
what
shake
Dee-Dee
on
would
it.
Say. I know, but again, I think Corey's doing a good job, but I do think they're kind of downplaying a little bit about what it really means to Dee-Dee, because I think they're scared of making her seem like alienating her from the viewers, because she just keeps saying it's important to me, it's my beliefs, but she's not saying like literally I do think she will go to hell if she doesn't get this done. And so if you don't care one way or the other, I know you don't like it, but you can understand that like for me this isn't life and death, this is like way more beyond serious to that. Yeah. But on the other hand, if he'd taken her to America, she never would have seemingly thought about it.
Exactly.
What was her plan then?
I wonder whether she would have just assumed that he would have done it.
No, she wouldn't have done. I'm just frustrated for her because she said all along, I can't be around the baby. I cannot be around her. I need her to go. I need you to take her away from me. I don't want to be around her because it's not going to work out. And she was right.
Totally.
She was right.
You're absolutely right, actually. And when James came back with his tail between his legs going, "Oh, Danny's dumped me," well, I think we did say, go anywhere else, James. Go and live with your mum. Poor old Aggie on her lonesome somewhere.
I don't know very much.
Don't live with them. And yes, Dee-Dee might say I can cope with it, but it's really harsh dangling this baby in front of Dee-Dee and saying, sorry, you can't have anything to do with this kid that you plopped out.
I don't know very much about adoption and how the process works, but it does feel a little bit to me as though Danny was not at all interested in the end. Because although he agreed to go through this adoption process, as soon as 5 minutes later, they've broken up and Danny's got no interest whatsoever in this child, I'd kind of be rethinking this a little bit if I was Dee-Dee. Like, it's one thing to say, adopt my baby in a loving, stable relationship. But then the whole situation's changed, and so her revisiting what she thinks about it is only fair, really, because she agreed to adopt her baby to a committed couple. Now she's adopting her baby to her brother who's living in the same street as her. That's not what she agreed.
I wonder then, the fact that this adoption hasn't gone through at the moment, is she going to try and put the kibosh on it? Is she going to refuse to sign the papers?
Yep, of course she is. This is where it's going, and I'm not sure what I think here, because when she's hugging the baby and like crying, I don't see how your heart can't break for her. Especially when James comes in and he's like, also it breaks my heart for him too, because he comes in and says, "Oh, Daddy's here," like he's trying to assert his, his authority over the baby. I feel bad for both of them, and I feel bad for Ed, because he's watching his two children possibly falling out with each other for the rest of their lives, because neither of them are going to get what they want out of this.
I mean, would James be able to get over it? Because
look,
he's
from a kind of very, I know things are different now, and gay parents can adopt or have a surrogate or anything, but James has said he's struggled, right? He's struggled with the process and he's not got anywhere. Him and Danny tried to. Dee-Dee literally cannot carry a child of her own again. Neither of them biologically can have a child, unless, lots of things happen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So this is the last...
Easier for James.
Kind of the last... Yeah, it's actually easier for James to have a baby. So this is the last chance saloon for both of them, in a sense.
Yeah, I guess, but...
I just think it's really sad because I can see a world where they could raise the baby together, even though that's obviously quite unusual.
Like a totally soapy thing to do,
It is a very soapy thing to do. It's a very unique family situation. But, I mean, the baby seemed like really close.
Whatever the outcome, and you're right, I think that Dee-Dee is going to do something to try and stop this adoption happening. One of them has got to move out of Coronation Street. Somebody needs to leave Weatherfield. Happen. You can't watch this happen. No.
If they weren't so diametrically opposed to a very fundamental part of Laila's upbringing, which is whether she's going to be raised as a Christian or not, because I think Dee Dee's going to push it further. If they didn't have that sticking point, it is quite possible that they could have a happy life.
Maybe, but...
Anyway, should we want to tell you what happened?
Let's just quickly run down what went on with this story this week then.
Right, so Dee Dee's going to take the baby for a secret christening, and James is very overprotective and he keeps kind of mother henning everything and wants to go with them.
He thinks that they're just going out for a bit of a
and
jolly
Dee Dee's like,
today.
I have looked after her before. No, you can't come because it's, I'm having a girls' night out.
I'm having a secret christening. Whoops.
Yeah,
Forget I said that.
Dee Dee, Billy, Alia and Adam all are having a celebratory post-christening drink in the bistro.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, okay.
And Dee Dee's like covering for it, going, oh no, it's not really his James thing, he didn't really want to come. But Adam doesn't realise that he's supposed to keep this quiet. Alia knows, but she didn't tell Adam, because I guess the fewer people know, the better.
I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of Billy going, James doesn't want to come. Really? And Alia already knew about it, didn't she? The fact that James wasn't into it.
Billy, don't forget, Billy's had a long history of being with a partner who was very anti-religion, who's gay. And he knows what it's like to be a gay man in the church. And I can imagine him thinking, yes, I guess James is not comfortable. He had a very tough, when he came out, it was really hard on him. I guess he doesn't want to go. That I can respect and understand that.
Yeah, but maybe I would have just liked to have seen that happening. The fact that they jumped from the second scene of the episode to it's happened now.
That he's like...
Yeah, they wanted to get to the fallout. And maybe that was partly my problem with this as well.
They could have told this story in lots of different ways, though. There could have been a scene where Dee Dee told Billy, look, I'm the legal guardian, not actually his child yet. I want her christened and I want you to keep it a secret. And there's literally no reason why you should tell. If you tell James, this baby may not get christened. And I think your responsibility as a vicar is first and foremost to the soul of this child.
Yeah.
Beyond what anyone's hurt feelings might be. We both agree and believe that this is a vitally important part of her life. That could have been really, really interesting to watch that scene, but we didn't get that. We just got skipped to the bit where Adam texts James like, oh, hope we had a great christening, mate. Why don't you come and have a beer? So James comes striding in.
First time Adam's made an appearance on the show for 4 months?
Yeah, and puts his foot right in it.
Yeah, within 30 seconds he screwed things up. This is why they don't let him be on the show.
Yeah, so he's like, sorry, I didn't know it was a secret christening. And James is like obviously absolutely furious, and Dee Dee refuses to apologise, doesn't she? And James says, "You were well out of order," and she says, "No, he says, who says this then?"
James says, "Laila is my baby."
Awkward. James says, "I'm the dad. You wanted me to bring her up, okay?" Then he says to Billy, "Is there some kind of unchristening I can do?"
What would that look like?
And Billy's like, "Have you seen Damien? No, have you seen The Omen? Because that is what happens. We don't do that anymore."
No. I did. Yeah, what else could it be like? How would you unchristen somebody? Just get the water off them, just wring them out.
Get the baby to spit in the font.
Yeah, replenish the water that was taken from within.
Yep. I think it would work. No, Billy's like, it doesn't really work like that.
Is it like when you spill white wine, you put red wine on it? So if you've put holy water on a baby's head to christen them, then you have to put a bit of unholy water, which I don't you don't want to know where that comes from.
If you go to Heaton Park after the Oasis gig
there's
tonight,
a lot of unholy water.
There'll be some unholy water in the urinals.
Yeah, I think so. But Billy's not into that kind of thing.
He says it doesn't work like that. I'm sure, I bet you there is some kind of, I'm trying to think of what they call the people that go to Stonehenge.
Druids.
Some kind of druid, or maybe a satanic priest that would very happily unchristen a baby. I bet they've got a ceremony.
Sounds like a riveting story. And tell you what, it doesn't involve a hospital, doesn't involve a police station. I'm all for it. Let's go down that route. I bet Rowan would do it.
Who's Rowan?
Wash your mouth out, Rowan Cunliffe, cult leader,
Yeah,
extraordinaire.
He probably
Willow,
has.
he'll do it.
Is he in prison?
I can't. Yes, I'm gonna say.
I tell you what, now I'm actually thinking about it, I think I could start a really nice racket of unchristening babies. If you want your baby, also, just to remind everyone too, the offer is still there that if you're a patron member and you want me to name your baby, or tell you what your baby's name is,
Still.
I could do it. Only one though. I don't have any me for more. Right, so Billy says no, you can't unchristen a baby, and then James says, well, Dee-Dee, you cannot see Laila without permission anymore. You're not doing it. So back at the house, he's berating her, calling her a hypocrite, and she says, I will promise this is the last thing I will ever do. I will never do anything like this again. And James doesn't believe her. I don't know if I believe her either.
No.
Because
he can see the looks that she's giving Laila. He can see the tenderness when she's holding her. Go on.
I just want to say that it is perfectly possible to only really want to make sure the baby is christened. Like the same way you might say, like for example, some people might say, all I really want is for you to put money in an ISA and make sure that when she's 18, she's got money for her house deposit. Honestly, spiritually speaking, this is what Dee-Dee has done. She has said, I want to set this child up for success in her life, and I want to do one thing and one thing only to make sure that happens. And she needs to get christened.
I just think she wouldn't be able to resist taking her to Sunday services.
I know like it's a weird analogy, but I genuinely think that it's along the same lines in her brain, right? But she's going beyond that. It's not just about the christening. It's about wanting to be Layla's mum.
Yeah.
And I think we can all see that. I do think it would have been more interesting if she had genuinely gone, yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted. But no, she's clearly now going to start wanting other things.
I could see her like trying to engineer friendships with, because I wonder whether at her church there's other new mums, and if she tries to engineer friendships between Laila and the child
Another baby,
and then there's like, oh yeah, they're just going around to so and so's house, and oh look, they want to go to Sunday school together. I think James has every right to be concerned, but if he is, move out.
Take the baby and run.
You just spent a couple of years
Are
not living here.
Are we genuinely supposed to believe that this grown man cannot look after a baby by himself? I know it's tough, and he wants support of his family, but at the moment, he doesn't realise that he can't expect them to look up to help him and not risk having Laila taken away from him. Really, he doesn't know that the choice is have it a bit easier and have people help you change nappies, and then you actually don't get to see Laila again. Yeah. Or take the baby away and have to do it all by yourself. Yeah. Does he not have any friends in America? He lived in London for a bit. Does he not have any friends there? Can he not, with his football money, can he not get somebody to help him? Get a
Mary Poppins in.
Get a nanny. Loads of people do it. And he's supposed to be loaded. Well, I mean, his first client fell through for his thingy business, but I like loads and loads of people raise babies by themselves. Loads of men can do this. It's not a gender thing. He is a man. He's not the father of the baby, but he is perfectly capable of looking after this kid by himself. He doesn't need his dad and his brother and his sister to do it.
Maybe he's thinking, as soon as Dee-Dee signs those papers, I will be away. But he needs to try to keep her sweet until... No, but he can
go away without... Look, honestly, once she signs the papers, he can stay if he wants to, because there's nothing she can do about it.
I don't know. Anyway, let's carry on.
So, James still mad about it when Dee-Dee leaves later and says to Ed and Michael that he's going to contact his solicitor. And we didn't realise that this was to actually adopt her. I think this should have been done a long time ago, but... Yes. So on Friday...
Hopefully a solicitor isn't Dee-Dee, because That's not really going to get him out of this hole, is it?
Is it Adam?
I wouldn't have Adam after the... Well, I suppose James is kind of grateful to Adam for his little...
Yeah. Might be a conflict of interest, though. So, on Friday, we get to meet a new...
Ollie.
Is this a new character?
Yeah, well, he was named.
He introduces himself and he flirts with Dee-Dee. He's actually doing a pretty good job of it. And she kind of relents, and I think she
seems to like the attention.
She likes the attention. And so,
yeah, he's called Ollie, but he's not AI Ollie.
No.
Don't think he was.
No. So James comes in, finds Dee-Dee, and tells her, I've spoken to the local authority and I've arranged a family group conference because I'm going to adopt Laila, and that's it. And Ollie comes over, and hilariously enough, he recognises James, but not from the fact he was quite a celebrity footballer, and also one of the very few footballers who played professionally to ever come out as gay. He recognises it from Dee-Dee's laptop.
Maybe he just doesn't like football. We don't all.
No, I don't dislike it, but I wouldn't even know who plays for Southampton.
I would not recognise any local Southampton players.
I wouldn't recognise... The only people I ever recognise are people who play in the England team when there's a tournament, but if you put them in a different outfit, I wouldn't know that they were footballers.
Even I'd struggle with that. Yeah, so...
I'm starting to lose my voice there.
Sorry. Just swigging away at your water.
So, Ollie comes over, Dee-Dee introduces them, and Ollie's noticed there's something a bit off here. We don't see any more of him, though. No. Dee-Dee goes back home, and Layla's by herself, because Ed's upstairs doing a poo or something. And so she picks him up. She didn't pick Ed up, she picks Laila up.
Off the toilet, Ed.
Come on, you're supposed to be looking after the baby. So she gives Laila a big cuddle, and she starts crying. And when Ed comes down, she pretends she's fine, but he can tell that something's up, and she has to admit to him that she's feeling really confused about everything. But then Michael and James, I also feel sorry for Michael, because Michael's like, why
this is a Bailey story, but I'm not doing anything in it.
Why do you make me in this storyline when I don't actually have anything to do?
He's just a complete spare part in this, isn't he?
He's like, I'm the neutral third party who doesn't have an opinion, apparently.
Yeah, I feel like they could give him a bit more to do. I feel bad for Ed, because Ed, what do you think Ed would most prefer?
I think he wants Dee-Dee to have the baby, because I think he also thinks James could have another shot, and then I get 3 grandkids.
Yeah, don't forget about Glory.
No. I think a lot of people have forgotten Black Glory. So, Dee-Dee says, I'm feeling really confused. Michael and James walk in, and James like, get off my baby. And Dee-Dee's like, oh, sorry. She goes, and the next time we see her, she's preparing her beautiful car, convertible, mini, to go to Glasgow to think some things through, and she drives away.
Storyline on hold for the next 2 or 3 weeks, potentially.
Let's just give Laila some time to spend getting more confused about who her parents are.
Laila doesn't know what's going on. She's only a little baby.
Babies.
She's got no idea.
Babies know more than you think.
Well, I don't know.
They know lots of things.
I think that if
don't trust them.
I think that if James were to take Laila away now, or if she were to never see Dee-Dee again, I think she'd be able to get over it. Probably.
I just feel bad for Laila.
You keep on with your water, darling, and I'm going to talk about Lisa and her therapy, which I actually quite enjoyed this week. I still felt it went down the usual tropes of, I'm not going to say anything to you, my therapist, I'm just going to sit here in silence, but by the end of the scene, I'm spilling my guts and my heart is bleeding all over the place about all the trauma that I've been through in my life. But I did kind of enjoy it. I like that there was a set that we hadn't seen before. I like that we actually got to see the therapy rather than just hearing that therapy had happened. And I thought that Lisa's reaction, despite being a little bit cliche, was definitely quite Lisa-ish. Because basically all that happens is she doesn't want to go to this therapy. She thinks it's a complete waste of time, which I think is definitely very Lisa, not wanting to open up about her feelings, thinking that talking is just namby-pamby, let me get on the streets, I want to arrest some bad guys. But she has to do it. Costello has ordered it. So basically, she goes to the therapy session. She says, look, just to sign something off to say that I've come. Like, no, got to do it properly, he says. So she decides to sit there quietly. And then after making small talk about houseplants or something, she starts opening up a little bit more about her feelings about her daughter and her...
Lisa, do you think that your feelings about houseplants might be also your feelings about your relationships in your life?
Exactly. It goes down exactly like that. He brings up Becky, doesn't he? Because he's been fed a bit more information about her past and her case and everything, and it kind of touches a bit of a nerve, and she's not really wanting to talk about her. But before you know it, she's saying, "Oh, I started to doubt whether she was, an honest copper as I thought that she was," and it looks like she's starting to make a breakthrough. But then the timer runs out, and she has to call it a day. She doesn't want another follow-up session, and I think it's probably partly because she's realised that she's done exactly... She's probably going to feel like she's been tricked here, hasn't she?
Yep.
She's fallen into...
She told him more than she wanted to.
Yeah, she does not... She's not an open book, is she, Lisa?
But she also probably thinks, if I examine my feelings, I'm going to be traumatised all over again. I don't even want to think about it anymore.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So she goes back to the pub with Carla after this and says, "Look, I'm starting to doubt Becky now. This is useless. What a waste of time." And we don't really get much further on to that. Oh no, the very end of the episode, actually, she's trying to open the Becky Swain folder on her laptop, isn't she? Now, this is how you can tell she's not completely made the leap to full-on regular soap character. Because as we all know, any full main regular soap character has the power within them to guess somebody's password in 3 guesses. As we saw from Maria, it just comes with the territory, but she can't. Maybe there's a special blocker on police characters because otherwise it wouldn't be fair. I don't know. But she tries to get in, can't do it, but she's clearly... she was hiding this information from Betsy a few weeks ago, wasn't she? The folder. But there's clearly she is also in the dark about some elements of this case. So I don't feel that it's gonna be worth the wait when the reveal comes. I am really intrigued to find out what was going on with Becky. But if all we get told is like, no, she was just really honourable, then it's going to feel like a bit of a letdown. I kind of want her to be... I want her to be a wrong one. What do you want to happen? I don't know. I don't know where they're going with this. I mean, there's still all of the theories that she's alive. Oh yes, I'm going to say that's not outside the realms of possibility. The more we all talk about it, the closer it becomes to being real, right? Like I said, I made Soap Week real. And they did give Becky a very low-key funeral, didn't they? Is it because they didn't actually have a body? That is a really good clue. I never even thought of that. But yeah, why is her file still locked after her death? Because she's still alive. Wow. Just imagine. I think the internet would explode. I think certain parts of it would, yes. The thing is, now it's so tempting. It's too tempting for Corrie to not do it. No, I'm going to say... I don't think they will. I'm going to say that I think no matter what, if Becky's alive or not, I still think that Lisa and Carla will end up together, and I genuinely think that they'll get married within a year. But also, let's not forget that even if Becky is dead, that doesn't mean that she can't appear on Coronation Street, because it's just... She can be a ghost. It's full of the Walking Dead at the moment, isn't it? We do get a little bit in this episode as well about the house sale and the fact that it looks like there's going to be a bit of a bidding war between Carla and Lisa and Debbie and Ronnie. Well, it's quite funny because the other day Carla was only saying she was interested in it because it's been reduced. And now suddenly Debbie wants it too. I would have thought... And Carla said she's put an offer in. I would have thought that if it did just come down to money, then Debbie and Ronnie would win every time. Yeah, because they've not had to pay for kidneys. Or kids. But they're kind of successful. I know Carla is a business owner, but Debbie and Ronnie are both entrepreneurs. And I don't think Carla is an entrepreneur. A hotel. What? I wouldn't call Carla an entrepreneur. She just owns the factory. I think she is, but unfortunately, most of the women on the street, she only got her business because she was married to a guy who died. Yeah. Anyway, I think that should be quite fun. Not to downplay her, because I do think she's an entrepreneur. I'm just saying we never heard that Debbie has a hotel because somebody died. No.
And I'm not blaming any of the characters here. I just think it's an unfortunate writing quirk on Corrie that it just so happens that I cannot think of any self-made woman on Corrie apart from Debbie.
I know Debbie got the hotel herself, but I think a good chunk of Debbie's current assets are down to Ray Crosby going to prison, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's not because she shagged him.
No, I don't think so.
It's because she screwed him over, which is slightly different.
I think it's going to be a whole lot funnier. There's better potential if Carla's living at number 6 than Debbie.
Well, Debbie says Carla and Lisa say, that our flat will be free. You can live there, and she says, I don't want to live in a pokey flat.
Carla is quite harsh when Debbie's like, I've choice. I know she is a bit. She plays the dementia card, doesn't she? But Carla's like, I don't care. I want the house.
Well, why would you? Your dementia's got nothing to do with where I live.
I would have liked to have maybe seen Carla have a little bit more sympathy there, but
I think that maybe. Do you think that Lisa and Carla are just like becoming exponentially bitches because they're both rubbing off on each other? Because they do both have super uber bitchy sides.
They do,
right? And you could end up with like them softening each other, but it seems like
they're both got
just
resting bitch faces,
just
haven't
becoming super evil together. Like, can you like? I know that there are loads of like gay couples that have massive fan bases in soaps, but I think I would really stan an evil lesbian couple.
I mean, I just want female villain representation on Coronation Street non-stop.
A pair of killers.
A pair of serial killers, yeah.
Have we had that before?
Don't think that Carla and Lisa are going to go
I don't think that's going to happen because that would immediately make their shelf life very short. But just being low-key evil would be fine with me, I think.
How are you going to score this week's Coronation Street?
I asked you to write something down and you didn't, as usual.
No, you didn't.
I did. I said, can you put down this score?
Well, I probably put it somewhere else. I don't know. I've not written it here. Sorry. But you can take... What number are you going to give it?
What did I give it last week? Did I give it 3?
Mate, I'm not sure.
I mean, again, there were lots of revelations, but I do think that I think that they... a bit... Can I politely say there was slightly over-ambitious with some of the effects?
Yes, that's a nice way of putting it.
I don't feel like it was necessary.
Not like me, I just said it bluntly. I think that the reveal of Lou was unnecessary because it was far heavily implied in last week's episode, and it was just all police and bloody hospitals, wasn't it? Apart from the Dee-Dee stuff, which I didn't.
Not everybody liked the Dee-Dee stuff. I know some people find that a bit boring because they don't care about the characters, but I really like the Bailey, so I love.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, which is why I was ashamed that I felt that they were shortchanged a little bit. I'm gonna give this week's episodes. It's hard. There's only 2 episodes, isn't it?
I hope that I'm fanning myself. I hope it's not annoying people, but I'm starting to get sick with how hot I am.
Goes the fan. I'm going to give this week's episodes, I'm going to give it a 2. 2 free lattes for Sally's birthday out of 5.
Great.
That was a nice little moment. We didn't get too much Sally this week, did we? How many unchristened babies are you going to be scoring?
You could have given it to men in coma in hospital because of blunt force trauma.
I could, because
more than there usually is.
Yes.
Out
but
of
I'm not.
5. Who's your character of the week? I'm going to give this 3 because I still did like some bits of it. I think the character dynamics are still really good for me. I'm enjoying it. I'm not always thinking that the way the story is panning out is like great. You know what I mean? I think that the character work is really fantastic because I really believe all these people are real, you know? Like everything everyone's doing makes sense to me.
Even Kevin saying that he's got cancer.
Yeah, because he's insecure. And he's staring down the face of being an old man with nobody to love him. He's not thinking like, and I don't agree with him that this is true, but he's thinking to himself, I'm old and I've got no prospects here. No one's ever going to love me. I've run out of chances. She's my only hope for happiness in the future. And if I'm not with Abby, I'm going to be alone and die a miserable old man. So he's desperately clawing onto anything, isn't he?
Yeah. God, it's really tough for me to do a character of the week, honestly, this week.
I haven't even scored it out of anything.
I know, but you asked me who my character of the week was.
I know, but
and I'm telling you, I don't really know.
I'm more talking to myself than you.
No, that's okay. I'm going to give this... I'm going to say it's David this week, just for a few little comedy lines in the salon. I enjoyed him. Uncomplicated. It wasn't teaching me anything, and it wasn't dark or policey or hospitally. What about... So what are you giving it? Unchristened babies or...
I'm going to give it
home with patients or...
No, I'm giving it 3 times that Lou stole the camera off of the crew and just filmed it herself because they weren't doing it right. And she didn't like...
Great.
Didn't like the angles.
So who's your character of the week then?
Who was in it again?
There we go. You going to give it to Lou? You going to give it to Maria? Gary?
I think I'm going to give it to...
Chesney Brown?
Sorry, but I'm going to give it to Debbie because I do like the way she said, you do know that I've got dementia, don't you?
Oh, yeah, that was
I had
funny.
to say it a different way than she did because you can't see my face on a podcast. And she also... What was that thing where she said... the kick, she said do a nutmeg or something. And she said the wrong word. And Tyrone corrected her. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
And but then she looked at him like, oh God. And just that little look, like,
It's
genuinely...
Right, Debbie, I don't understand football either.
Genuinely, she probably just got it wrong. And, like, for a while now, she will every time she makes a mistake that's just genuinely a mistake anyone would make, it's going to feel like I'm slipping further into this.
Yeah.
And she won't know if it's just a mistake or if it's dementia.
Well, there we go. Anyway, Corrie's back to 3 episodes next week. So
when is it on?
The service
normal
time, I believe. 7 o'clock Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, first thing in the morning on ITVX
baby.
and YouTube. Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay, that's Street Talk done for this week.